Well, hello there, family. You're listening to Fired Up Freedom with Steve Ryan. Fired Up Freedom. All right. Do you ever look for certain services or products and it's just hard to find and you want to know if someone else has used that before? Well, visit my resources page, steveryan.com/resources, steveryan.com/resources. All right, welcome everyone to the room. I'm Steve Ryan. I want to welcome you. So today we're going to be talking about your brand, how to brand yourself without burning out. Now, the way that I've been doing the rooms and spaces for anyone who's just joining is I go over some notes. It usually take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then if anyone have any thing they want to share or input or questions or anything like that, feel free to come up. We've had some amazing sessions. On yesterday, we talked about how to handle other people's energy. Earlier this week, we talked about how to create income opportunities in your industry. It was a lot of good topics this week. And next week is going to be some amazing topics. But I'll jump right on into this topic. So welcome. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome. Hey, nice to see you all. All right. So today I want to talk about your brand. Your brand is your reputation. So whether you have a business or you're just a personal brand, or whether you're just someone who comes onto social media and posts and you want to grow awareness of who you are and for people to get to know you, that's a brand. And sometimes people don't see themselves as a brand, but you really are a brand. Now, I came up with these 3 acronyms of how can you grow your brand without burning out. And it's CAT, like a cat. So CAT. C is for concentrate, A is for automate, T is for translate. And I'm going to explain why I chose these letters for each one of these. And it will all make sense, I promise you. So again, the way that you grow your brand without burning out is all about strategy. It's all about strategy. And the strategy that I love using is CAT. Concentrate, automate, translate. All right, so let's start with concentrate. What does that mean? All right, and I took some notes. See, for you all looking at the live, look at all these notes I wrote. I really thought about this topic because this is a very important topic, because whether you're on Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, or even for you all on TikTok or LinkedIn or wherever you're at, you're growing your brand. And it could be like a rat race out there if you're just, I don't know what to do. I want everybody to know me. But here's some great information that's going to really help you. All right. So concentrate. What does concentrate mean? Discovering what your brand is in the shortest and relatable way as possible. This can be challenging when you do multiple things. It doesn't mean that you can't do more than one thing, but people usually relate to one thing or 2 things. Like, who are you? What are you actually doing? Like, for example, for me, for those who don't know or those who may know, I'm a singer, songwriter, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, actor, author. I do meditation music, all this other stuff, but I can't put all that in a bio. So a hard time for me was, how do I choose which thing to represent who I am without feeling like I'm picking one child over the other? It's a very tough thing, especially if most of us have more than one thing that we enjoy doing, So that's going to be a really important step to take, is really think about, how do you want people to see you? So when someone clicks on your picture or your profile, what is it saying? How are they representing, how are you representing yourself? What picture are you using? You know what I mean? Even our pictures can tell 1,000 words. So concentrating means like narrowing it down, making it relatable, So like for me, I chose freedom because freedom represents who I am. Like if I had to choose and say one sentence about who is Steve Ryan, I would say, I help people achieve freedom. And the next question after that is like, well, how do you do that? Well, through mindset freedom, which a lot of you is getting information that I talk about and others talk about in these rooms and spaces and things. Financial freedom, that comes from the topics. Mental and emotional freedom, that comes from my music and writing. So that's how I was able to narrow that down. And that covers everything. And then as people get to know you, they'll discover, wow, you do this. Okay. And you'll have your segmented audiences. All right. So the next thing is ask yourself, if someone says to you like, wow, you're really good at this, or wow, you really impacted me this way. Those are very important things to take notes of, because sometimes our perceptions of ourselves can really not tell the full picture, because we don't know. We're ourselves. Have you ever had someone say, wow, you're really great at this? You know, like I'm looking on the app now, I'm looking on the Clubhouse side. I see like Jackie in the room. I know she's great at like business motivational stuff. You know, like just from when I've heard her talk in Gary's rooms and in her rooms, I've been to her rooms before. You see what I mean? Like her brand is like, she knows what she's talking about. She's a person that is not judgmental. That's my impression. You know, or I see on Twitter, I see BB. BB comes across to me as like, she's a strong, talented person who really is supportive, and she's very unselfish. She's very supportive. That's what her brand screams. So you have to ask yourself, what is your brand saying? And again, in my opinion, branding is nothing but our reputation. What do people think of when they think of you? All right. So that's concentrate. Now, see, I'm actually almost halfway done. Told you this wouldn't take too long. Automate. This is a good one. How do you automate your brand? This is a very key component. But before I go to automate, let me just go back to concentrate for a moment. It's better to spend time now, however long it takes, to think about your brand, to think about what is it, what do you want people to get when they come across you? What do you want people to see? What do you want people to think of when they think of your name or your company? That's your reputation. This is important down the road, because everything that you do is building that reputation. Everything. Even if you just go into a room or a live stream, or you leave a comment on someone's profile, you don't know who's going to look at your profile. All right. So let's go to automate. This is a huge one. Automation varies. Some things for automation is totally free, and some things cost. Everyone can do the things that are for free. So watch this. This is so funny. Automate is like putting your brand on autopilot, where it grows even while you're sleeping. So here's the first thing that I wrote about automating your brand. What's the first priority? Your profile, your bios, information that people come across when they see you. Now on every platform, I can't think of one platform where you can't go and click on someone's profile. You know what I mean? In some sort of way. So if you're leaving, like I just stated, comments, or you're posting something, or you're on a social audio app like you all see here, Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse, or even TikTok, some of you are leaving comments in here. People can click on your profile, and when they go to your profile, what do they see? What are you saying on your profile? You know, do you use emojis or profiles usually only give you so many characters. So the challenge of a profile usually is, how do you convey what you want people to see in the shortest way without losing what you're trying to say? That's a very difficult thing, but it's very doable. So every time you show up, you're exposing your brand. Every time you go somewhere, every time you leave a comment, you're exposing your brand. That's why it's very important. You know, if any of you don't have like a second profile, I would encourage you to create one and to go and look at your profile to see, how are people seeing your profile? How are people seeing your page when they come across you? So this is why, for me personally, I'm big on having a website, you know, and a lot of times, like, when I'm on like Twitter Spaces, for example, or somewhere, I see a lot of people will put their Discord, or they'll put OpenSea, or they'll put links to other places. And every time you do that, you're losing out on an opportunity for people to see your brand. Like, for example, on my page, you're going to see steveryan.com/Discord. You see what I mean? So if someone wants to go to the Discord, they at least go to my website first, and then they click on Discord. Now, I know there's a lot of marketing people that say, oh, but that's going to take too many seconds. But here's the thing. Every time someone don't see your brand, you're losing an opportunity for them to remember you. That's why some people are here. You want to be remembered. You want people to know you. You want people to be aware of you. This is one of the ways to automate your brand. I know a lot of people use Linktree. Nothing against that. Even I have a Linktree. However, I always direct people to my site. Even if you put one or two things on your site and maybe your Linktree as the third button, at least expose them to your name. You see what I mean? That's just my opinion. Now, it's not right or wrong. It's just my opinion. But here's another example. What if you wanted to rebrand yourself? Like, for example, our freedom used to be NFTs for freedom for our Discord, but we wanted to expand to an audience beyond NFTs and crypto. We wanted to make sure we're reaching everyone. What if there are people who don't care about NFTs and crypto? A lot of you, especially on the live stream, don't care about that. But a lot of people on Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse do care about that. So we changed our Discord to your freedom. But if we had went and put that link everywhere, we would have had to, we got to go change it everywhere. But when people go to like steveryan.com/Discord, all I had to do was simply change the link on the button. And that was it. So when you direct people to your website or something that you control, it gives you the opportunity, if you ever want to rebrand yourself or change out links, you can do it very easily because all you have to do is change it on your website. See, these are little quirks and tricks that you can do to automate yourself. And it's absolutely, having a website is not free, but it's a lot of free options. We've gone over some resources, which I'll do in another session. Like, for example, carrd.co, carrd.co. It's $19 for a whole year to host your website. So if you don't want to use something that's more costly like Squarespace or Wix or build your own like WordPress, then there's other alternative options out there that are relatively inexpensive, All right, so I'm almost done. Now, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything here. Another thing, your social media platforms like your TikToks, your YouTube channels, your LinkedIn profiles, your Instagrams, your Snapchat. All those things are opportunities for people to see your brand. I put steveryan.com on every platform. Every platform you go to, you're going to see my website. And I'm able to track the analytics. I'm able to see where people are coming from. You see what I mean? That really helps with your brand awareness because that will help you to see what kind of job are you doing? Where are you spending your time? Maybe you might discover that you're doing something on one platform that you're not even realizing that you're doing, and it comes on another. Like, for example, on the TikTok, I was posting on TikTok and YouTube shorts and things like that. And I noticed my YouTube shorts started getting a whole lot of views. And it made me go and look and say, why are people really attracted to this particular content? So I did a self-discovery and I started taking that content and putting more of that content on like TikTok and things like that. And I saw a lot of growth. I saw a lot of growth. So being aware of these things, it doesn't cost you anything. You see what I mean? Just simply think about what you want people to see on your profile. Fired Up Freedom will be right back after these messages. Do you ever look for certain services or products and it's just hard to find and you want to know if someone else has used that before? Well, visit my resources page, steveryan.com/resources, steveryan.com/resources. All right. The more you automate, the easier it's going to be to manage. All right. And then the last thing, work smarter. Work smarter. This is the last piece to the animation. Now, I could talk about all this other type of automation, which I'm not going to do today, but you got way more than just this. You have funnels like click funnels. You have, active campaign. You have email marketing. There's all kind of things that you can do to automate yourself. But the focus of today is not to dive deep into that. It's more to make you aware that simply by you going from, being active on socials and things like that, having your profiles ready for people, that in itself is an automation because people can click on your profile whether you're signed on or not. All right. The last thing here, and then I invite anyone to come up, is translate. So for those who just came in, I've been talking about CAT. This is a way to expand your brand without burning out. The first thing we talked about was concentrate, which is what is your brand about? Like concentrating it down. The second thing I just spoke about was automate. How to automate your brand, or more accurately would be, what is the first piece to automate your brand? And it's all about, what do people see when they come onto your brand? The last thing I'm going to talk about is translate. Now, translate, this is a very, very important one as well. Translate is this. How are people receiving your brand? You can see this from comments, from feedback, from what people say. It's important to take a look at the feedback that you're getting from people because that's going to let you know, how is your brand coming across? What is some of these things saying? Like, for example, if I wanted to be a painter, but every time people see my profile, they're thinking that I'm a runner and they don't see anything about painting, that means I'm not translating what I want to say how I want to say it. That means I would need to go this is just an example, I'm not a painter, but that means that I would have to go back to my profiles and put something about painting on it, or put some kind of images or something so that people can see, wow, this is what you do. So how are people translating your brand? Are you conveying the message that you want to send out? That's very important because when you look at the feedback and the comments or testimonials from people, that's going to give you the information that you need to see how your brand is coming across. These are part of the ways that you can do this without burning out. All right. All right. So I'm going to invite anyone who wants to come up to speak, to comment, to ask any questions. These were my notes. I told you it wasn't going to take long. We're right at the 19-minute mark. All right. Hey, BB. Hey, Rain. Hey, Rick. Hey, Queen. Hey, Beck, Yaki. Hey, on the Clubhouse House, Jackie, Nancy, AJ, Fuzzy, Sarah, Valerie, Christina. Good morning to you, Nancy. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, y'all on the live. Hey, how you doing? Hey, B-Bash. Hey, Katra. All right, sweet. Hey, Raining Inside. All right. So I guess no one wants to talk about this topic today. So letting you all know what's coming up next week is this. It should have posted by now. I know I set the Twitter up. So next week, these are some topics we're going to be talking about next week. On Monday, how do you market with no money? Now, a few people sent me some messages and they said, well, Steve, I don't have a budget. I know you've talked about ads and Facebook ads or Google ads or exposure in that way. But what if I don't have any money? What are some suggestions? And that made me think about, well, let's do a topic about that because there's plenty of things that you can do if you don't have a budget. So we're going to talk about that on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to talk about how do you deal with imposter syndrome? I know I've struggled with that throughout my adult life, imposter syndrome. So that's going to be a great conversation. Wednesday, we're going to talk about how do you improve your public speaking? If you get on live or social audio app or you're on a real world stage, all of those things are public speaking. How can you improve it? Thursday, we're going to be talking about marketing, something that's called the rain down effect and building rain catchers. Oh, that's going to be a great topic. And then next Friday, we're going to talk about what is passive income. So that's going to be awesome and great. Now, this week, we've had an incredible week. It was really, really, really great. I know that each and every one of you can expand your brand without burning out. You got this. All right. Well, if no one wants to come up and talk about this one today, then we'll go ahead and wrap up early. I won't hold you all over. So one last opportunity. Oh, good morning to you, Bibash. I'm just reading the comments on the live. Oh, I see Fuzzy's in the live too. That's cool. Fuzzy's on the live, and he was just now in the chat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put up the next room. So let me do it on the Twitter side first, and then I'll do it on Clubhouse, and then we'll close on out, unless I see any requests. All right, so let me put up the room for Monday. This was a fun topic for me, so I enjoyed it. All right, I just put up a link to the room on Monday, and then let me do it on Clubhouse. A moment here. All right. All right, the room on Clubhouse. There we go, Monday's room. Here we go, I have it right here. Let me just copy it and then paste it up here. Change the pinned link. There we go. All right. How do you market with no money? So that will be the Monday's room. Oh, hey, BB. Oh, we got a speaker finally. Usually when one person come up, then other people start to come up. Feel free on the Clubhouse side too. If any of you want to come up and chime in, that's fine too. Hey, BB, how are you?
Good morning. Yeah, I came because everyone is shy today. So that's why I said at least one is. Yeah, it was great. It was great week. It was really great. And then next week I am waiting for, especially for the public speaking, because that's gonna be for me.
Well, you've come a long way, BB, because I remember last year, like you didn't like to speak at all on stages, but now you're starting to come up more, so that's that's good.
Yes, I had the phobia from, public speaking, but Steve, you helped me a lot. You helped me so much with that. And yeah, thank you for that. Last time when I was talking, I had a few messages, and then also some community they invite me to, they invite me because they like what I was talking, So it was like, oh my God, I was so afraid to talk, and now even people like what I'm saying. That's improvement.
Absolutely. And even when people are in the audience, like for example, you know what I'm going to do real quick? I'm going to actually go through everyone's profile. Like, like for example, on the Clubhouse side, when I click on, let's say like AJ, I see crypto and NFT enthusiast. I click on Nancy, I see virtual assistant. I aim to free you from your administrative tasks so you can regain the time to create and develop the business. Then when I click on Jackie's, I see co-founder of SaaS organization. I see a female business owner, global business consultant. She says, I am an Instagram growth hacker and help you build your business, brand, and community on Instagram with our new SaaS platform. And then when I click on Sarah Jout, I see I am a child of the Most High God. I see, and I click on Christina. I see if you need a coach for writing accountability, let's work together. And I go over here on the Twitter side, I see BB. I click on hers. It's like one-on-one artists. She have freedom on there, librarians on there, traditional artists. I see Fuzzy. You're everywhere, Fuzzy. You're like Clubhouse, Twitter Space, and on on the TikTok. I click on Fuzzy. Fuzzy says, "Are you crypto curious? Want a community to learn and grow together? Join the Fuzzy Discord." You click on Utu. Says developing a project to help people. Oh, cool! You have the meditation channel thing on your banner. Oh, thank you, Utu. I click on Rick. I see multimedia arts. Rick, that profile is familiar. Did you ever have a profile that start with an A, like arrow something? Because that profile is familiar. You know, I see Raining Inside, Degenerative Artist. I see Queen, says AFL Artist, Athletics Business. I see Yaki, Digital Painter. So in other words, what I'm saying is like, even now, even when people aren't speaking, if you're just in the listener section, people can still click on your profile. And that's when you have to ask, what will they see? You know, what will they come across? How you know, is it conveying the message you want to convey? Sometimes less is more. You know, sometimes, you know, a profile, it doesn't have to cram everything in there. You know, I've experimented with mine and now I love trying to fit emojis in it because it just gives it personality. So running from myself at times I can't describe the words I try.